Psychologist Adventurer Case Number 1. A chance encounter, or how a noble manipulator came to be this year, has been turbulent and humiliating for Alex Dobrodrug. His final year of psychology at university, which once seemed like a springboard to a brilliant future, now resembled a long, winding line at the ticket office, where tickets to life were already sold out. He lived in a tiny room 2 hours away by car, requiring 3 transfers, and his main source of income was working as a waiter at a prestigious CAF, an establishment where the average bill exceeded his weekly salary, and where the customers regarded him as a living piece of furniture. On that fateful, rainy March evening, fate decided to show interest in him, taking the form of an old acquaintance. Drenched to the skin, smelling of cheap coffee and despair, Alex rummaged through the bookstore shelves, desperately trying to find a used textbook on cognitive behavioral therapy for under $10. The thought of rent due in 3 days, and his last $7.30 in his pocket, sent him into fits of dry, ironic laughter. He was silently talking to himself, a habit developed from loneliness and the need to be his own most interesting conversationalist. So, Alex, here's the situation. Maslow's theory states that until your basic needs are met, self-actualization is out of the question. Your roof-like foundation is about to collapse. Conclusion. Your chances of becoming a great psychologist are slim to none. Bravo. 6 years of study only to realize your own financial inadequacy. You should have gone into finance, like your uncle advised. Although no, there, too, you need to be able to count things other than your own debts. It was at that moment in the self-deprecating monologue that a voice rang out, clear, recognizable, saturated with the scent of elite perfume and unconscious arrogance. Alex, my God, Alex. Is that really you? He turned, and the world seemed to tilt. Before him, haloed in an ivory cashmere coat, stood Donna Sokolova. Their paths had crossed 7 years ago at a private school, where Alex had been swept up in a rare scholarship for gifted children from families with limited resources, and Donna by a generous donation from her father, who had made his fortune in dubious equipment supplies in the 90s. She was the princess of that microcosm, he, a smart but perpetually out-of-place extra. School, prom, that was their most significant interaction, where Donna, pointing to his suit, painstakingly tailored by his mother, loudly remarked to her friends, "Look, it looks like the pizza delivery service has lost its courier." The laughter was haughty, the pain sharp and memorable. Outwardly, she had hardly changed. The same doll-like, flawless face, the large eyes, the lips as if chiseled by a jeweler. But there was something new, too. Those eyes, always sparkling with self-satisfaction, now burned with a different light, anxious, restless, almost panicked. In her hands, she clutched a leather-bound volume with gold embossing, clearly bought not for reading, but to create the right backdrop on a shelf in the loft. Donna, he nodded, trying to keep his voice from betraying a mixture of old resentment and new curiosity. "Yes, it's me. How are you? What are you doing here?" Her gaze slid over his tattered jacket, lingered on the textbook in his hands, and something like condescending pity flickered in her eyes. "You're into psychology, right? I remember you saying something like that." "Yes, I'm in my senior year," he said curtly, already mentally bidding farewell to this conversation. The standard set of polite, meaningless phrases would follow, after which she would turn and flutter away to her limo. But Donna didn't flutter away. She suddenly clutched the book to her chest, and her lower lip trembled traitorously. The sudden vulnerability on that usually haughty face was shocking. "Alex, you can't imagine," her voice broke into a high pitch, almost a shriek, "I'm having a nightmare, an indescribable nightmare." And so it began. A torrent of words, complaints, tears, anger, and despair crashed down on him right in the middle of the dusty store. The groom, Tom Logvin, the son of her father's partner, always disappearing at important meetings that leave him smelling of someone else's perfume. Her father threatens to cut off her allowance if the wedding falls through. Family contract, daughter, don't embarrass me. Friends who are just waiting to stab her in the back. The psychiatrist prescribed pills that make her feel like a vegetable in the refrigerator. And the worst thing is, she sobbed, and it wasn't a theatrical sob, but a genuine, childish sob. I'm starting to think he's right. That I really am a crazy, hysterical woman. Maybe I just need to shut up and do as they say. She looked at him with wide, tear-stained eyes and suddenly blurted out, grabbing him by the sleeve of his wet jacket with the force of a desperate man. You're a psychologist. You have to help me. No, not help me, prove it. Prove to me that I'm not crazy. I'll pay you for everything, however much you want. The last sentence hung in the air, ringing and absurd, like the ringing of a crystal bell in the basement. Alex felt the old, caustic schoolboy's laugh rise in his throat. Prove that I'm not crazy. I'll pay you for everything. It was the perfect, absurdly complete diagnosis of a poor, rich girl, ready to buy a certificate of mental health from a casual acquaintance. Quotes from textbooks about ethics, boundaries, and the inadmissibility of dual relationships flashed through his head. And then, slowly, like a heavy roller blind, another thought descended, the thought of the $7 in his pocket, the tuition bill, the stupid but still smoldering ember of an old grudge. He looked at her hand on his sleeve. A perfect manicure. The cost, his month's rent. His fingers trembled. Sincerely. Okay, he said, and his own voice sounded strange, distant to him. But it will be expensive. He didn't name a price. He himself didn't know how much such a ridiculous favor could cost. 500? 1,000? For her, a trifle. For him, salvation. Her face lit up with such gratitude, as if he had offered not to listen to her for money, but to pull her out of a burning building. Thank you, she chirped. Let's go to my place, right now. It's warm and dry there, I'll give you some money, and we'll discuss everything. So, drenched, with a textbook under his arm and feeling like he'd just sold his soul, but for a vague, as yet unspecified price, Alex climbed into the limo with tinted windows that had materialized at the curb in response to Donna's call. The scent of leather, expensive perfume, Two Bros 1941, and hopelessness assaulted his nose. The journey into her world, into her golden but clearly sour reality, had begun.